So I want to share some of my own personal insights into what an energy vampire is and the sneaky ways in which an energy vampire makes it seem as if you are the one taking their energy. And I also want to share with you guys that you can't actually take or suck anybody's energy, and nobody can actually take or suck your energy. So those two things that I just said probably sound like they contradict each other. Now, again, just to remind you, we live in a vibrational universe where things do seem to contradict at times, depending on the vibration that you are perceiving from, okay? So I'm going to use this word or concept, an idea of energy vampire, because that is the most widely known way to put that idea of somebody taking your energy, right? And we need to use words in this world, and I'm not going to be perfect with my words. None of us are, right? So I just want to make it clear that there's going to seem to be some paradoxes in a lot of the things that I say on this channel, especially. So I just wanted to clear that up very briefly with you guys. So let's get into this idea of what an energy vampire is. Now, I am going to kind of walk you guys through a quick visual here about how nobody can take your energy and why nobody can take your energy. So I really wish I could just draw this out for you guys right now, but what I'm going to do is just kind of create a visual. So here is this all encompassing stream of everything that exists. Everyone and everything exists in this stream. Here it is. It's flowing downwards. Think of it like a waterfall. Okay, here is this stream of consciousness we like to call source or God. Now, on each side of this source consciousness, let's say here is Nancy and here is Sally. Now, I forgot which one I named you. Nancy is being fed this stream of consciousness, her own stream of consciousness from this main stream. Okay, she's being fed from her own stream of consciousness from this larger stream. And Sally over here is also being fed this stream of consciousness, and it is coming from this larger stream. Now, nobody can actually cut off their streams. The only way that their stream of consciousness can be pinched off is if Nancy decides to perceive Sally in a way that makes it seem as if she's cutting off her stream, when in reality, it is Nancy's perception that is making it seem like that is the case. So, a lot of the time, we think other people are sucking our energy, or they think we're sucking their energy, when in reality, they perceive us or we perceive them in a way that makes them or us believe that we're cutting off their energy source. So this is the result of a lack of awareness. It's the result of unconsciousness. So I want you to begin to start seeing relationships in this way, in which nobody can take from you and you can't take from anybody. And what you believe as if you are giving to them is something you're willingly doing from your goodness, but it doesn't take from you to give, because you're always being fed from this stream, and vice versa. Instead of this belief that there is a give and take, which there is also an energy exchange there, right? There is an energy exchange, but it's not a give and take that depletes you, if you understand what I'm saying and trying to point to here. So that's the first thing to understand, that nobody can take from you and you can't take from anybody. That is huge, and that is going to change so many of your relationships just if you know that. Now, the way an energy vampire will seem to suck your energy is this person. There's so many ways it can happen. It could be, usually it comes in these strategies people adopt, like codependency and narcissism. Now, I could get into those, but I'm not really going to get fully into those right now because I can make an entire long video about codependency and narcissism. But codependency and narcissism are the main adaptive relational strategies people adopt to trauma, usually in their life. And a lot of the time we think these are disorders. They're absolutely not disorders. They are adaptive relational strategies. Now, so to give you an example, codependencies, let's talk about a codependent. A codependent is somebody who believes that they give themselves up for others. They're always giving, and they hide, actually. They hide under the guise of goodness. That everyone just takes their energy and they're just victim to that. When in reality, what's actually going on in that kind of situation is that feeds their own self-concept of being a good person and feeling worthy because they don't know how to have a healthy energy exchange. That is not a siphoning of their energy or feels like someone's taking from them because usually of some kind of trauma in their childhood. That's really where everything comes from, you guys. It's always from some kind of trauma. So there's that idea of what an energy vampire can be. And the tricky thing with codependents, especially people that, on the other, if you don't know what codependents are, on the other side of codependency is somebody who's seems to be very needy and needing something from this other person. And this other person just so willingly gives everything that they can give. And believing and pointing to this idea that they're not getting anything at all from you. So when in reality, they're actually, like I said, their self-concept is being built by believing that's what they're doing, giving you all their energy because you don't have any to give to yourself, right? So narcissism is a little bit different, but they actually are very similar. And again, I could talk about this forever, but I really don't want to get into this right now. So narcissism is more, to be honest with you guys, I'm not like super familiar with narcissism as much, but I know that it's more of it depends. There's so many ways I could put this, and I don't want to allude to the wrong thing here. It's more of like when we think of narcissism, we think of somebody taking, right? They're purposely taking from us. And when actually, yeah, like I said, I'm thinking about this in my mind. Like you can actually, like, codependents and narcissists can actually be, I can't even find the right words right now, can be the same people. So anyways, I'm not going to get super far into that. And I just want to talk a little bit about the energy exchange of some of these energy vampires. So codependency is one of the biggest one. And I will get more into this. It's just, I want to be careful about what I say here because I know there's a lot of ways you can look at narcissism and codependency. So anyways, these codependent people will make you feel like you're taking from them. And again, it's impossible for you to actually give up yourself. You can't actually give up your needs and wants like a codependent person believes, right? They're actually, again, getting their self-concept and idea of worthiness that they feel like they need to get from giving themselves up because they don't believe they will be loved by just being who they are. You see? So there are so many ways why somebody may believe someone is sucking the energy out of them, or they believe they're giving all of their energy. And a lot of the time, you guys, it's actually very unconscious and innocent because of some kind of trauma that happened within that person's earlier life. And now they are adapting with these relational strategies to compensate. Okay, and the only way to really change that is to become conscious. So a lot of the time we hear energy vampire and we think, oh, what a terrible person. They're just like literally sucking my blood, right? And again, nobody can take your energy. It's always about your own perception of that person. We must take responsibility. We must take inner accountability for our own energy. If you feel like your energy is being drained, there is somewhere in yourself, in your own energy, in your stream, the stream of consciousness that is feeding the embodiment of you, somewhere is being cut off by you. A lot of the time it's unconscious, right? So it's your job, if you want to find resolve, to become conscious of yourself and where you're not being conscious. Where are you blaming and projecting your own unconsciousness onto others? That is only going to cause more suffering for yourself, especially for yourself. And it's going to make relationships very difficult. So, really, take a look into this idea that you are the one that allows your stream of consciousness to flow, and you are also the one that allows it to be cut off by you. And if you feel like somebody is sucking your energy, evaluate the relationship. Evaluate some of these things I had said here. Look into a specifically codependency. That is the biggest issue I see in relationships, and narcissism. Now, again, I know I didn't speak much on narcissism, but I want to make sure that I am covering all the areas I need to when I'm speaking about this, instead of just parts and aspects to codependency and narcissism. I'm more familiar with codependency than narcissism. But again, like I said, they can be interchanged sometimes. And I know it doesn't seem like that, but they can. They absolutely can. So maybe I will put something together where I actually do speak about these two ideas. But I don't want to be confusing, and I want to make sure that my message is clear. So, anyways, let's start to take responsibility for our own energy stream being fed to us. And the idea, and letting go of this idea that people can take from us, because they can't. And the idea that you give yourself up, right? Whatever side of the spectrum you are on. So, take this from somebody who had a lot of codependent relationships. You know, I wasn't necessarily the one that was codependent. I was the one more that was, from this other person's perception, the needy one. When in reality, I started digging deeper into this, and I wasn't actually sure what was going on. And I started to realize that this person didn't feel comfortable in a relationship with me unless they felt as if I was taking from them, so that they could, like I said, build their self-concept of, I'm just always giving myself, right? And so I started to realize that it had nothing to do with me. I simply believed, and was also made to believe, that I was also giving to this person as much as they were giving to me. I did feel like it was an equal energy exchange, and nothing would have pointed to me early on in this relationship that I was taking their energy or that I was sucking from them. You know, it was just so not made aware to me at all, unless I was completely in this narcissistic bubble of not seeing. But I wouldn't be particularly aware if I wasn't able to, I wouldn't be particularly aware and be able to even see any of this if I thought that was the case. Because from everything I've done and all the digging I've done in my own personal relationships, I don't believe that was the case at all. So a lot of the time too, guys, when you are more of a conscious person, when you are naturally somebody who is just more conscious and gaining more awareness and putting more light into your subconscious aspects, people either love you for it or hate you for it, and they will find ways to shine a lot of their shadow on you, if you know what I'm talking about. So I hope this helps a little bit with energy vampires. And again, I could go into this so deeply, but I want to be careful what I say. about codependence and narcissism, since these are probably really touchy subjects for a lot of people. And I just want to make sure that I am covering all areas of these relational strategies that people adopt. But anyways, nobody can take your energy, and you cannot take anybody else's energy. But you can perceive in such a way that makes you think your energy is being sucked, or somebody, or you are taking from somebody. So if you're somebody who's very needy, recognize that you have worth. It all comes down to worth issues, whatever side of the spectrum you're at. You don't believe you have enough worth to pull from your own energy stream. You do. You can feed yourself. Other people in your life are just reflections of the relationship that you have with your own energy stream. Think about that. So you don't believe you have worth if you feel like you are taking from others. You believe that you're taking from others. And you don't believe you really have a lot of your own self-worth if you feel like you have to give yourself up for others. But like, again, that's all illusion. None of that is actually happening. It's all you and your own shadow and your own unconscious. I hope this helps.